Hi everyone, I'm Jim and welcome to the review of Prophets of Rage, the only studio album by the band Prophets of Rage. Today we're celebrating the 5th anniversary of the record, so I've decided to go back to it and see if it still holds up or not. Prophets of Rage is a supergroup consisting of the members of the band Rage Against the Machine and Audioslave, and the members of Public Enemy, DJ Lord and the rapper Chuck D, and Cypress Hill rapper Be Real. At first it was supposed to be a Rage Against the Machine reunion, but Zach decided not to participate, which led to the inclusion of Chuck D and Be Real. This proves only one thing, that we truly live in the darkest timeline. Imagine the other timeline, where Zach was featured on this album. I'm sure the songs would have been faster and more heavier for sure. We missed out on it by living in this shitty timeline. So my story with Prophets of Rage is simple. I've heard about the band because I'm a big fan of Rage Against the Machine. Been listening to them since a little child. And this project was like a dream come true because I'm also a big fan of Cypress Hill. Be Real has some great vocals, but I wasn't too keen on Chuck D from Public Enemy. And I think he just doesn't fit here. The vocals aren't so heavy and emotionally driven. Anyways, the album was released, critics panned the record, but commercially it was a big success. People enjoyed it and bought it. There are 12 songs on the record, but if you buy a special edition you also get the songs from the EP, which is cool, and this is the version I am going to review. Here's my setup, the production is tight, everything sounds great, it's clean but heavy at the same time. The message is political, if you know Rage Against the Machine then you know what you're into here. Most of the songs are against conservatives and the right wing of American politics. What can I say? I have free healthcare and you do not. If I lived in America I would be dead by now because my cancer treatment and other health issues would have never been fixed, because I wouldn't be able to afford it. Going back to the record, the structure is basic, nothing fancy, typical verse, chorus, solo, chorus. And before we start rating individual songs, I must say that the vocals mostly do not fit the instrumentals, especially Chuck. It just sounds very weird. I wish we had more screaming vocals here, full of passion and emotions. That doesn't happen. Be Real sounds really good, but he doesn't do much, which is very sad because I wish it was more of him. I don't know if you remember, but he had a side project with band members of Deftones and Fear Factory called Cash in the year 2000. That shit was very heavy and interesting. When they've announced this Prophets of Rage side project, I was very skeptical if it would live up to the potential of Cash. Sadly it did not. It's very sad to me, that's all. Radical Eyes is the album's opener. It's a very weak song to be honest, but the solo saves it for me. The rest is just your typical B-side riffs from Rage. It's very sad to be honest. Why are you starting your record with such a slow song? This shouldn't have been the opener, for sure, but it's decent. It would work as a song in the middle of the album, but as an opener, man, this sucks ass. But the song is decent, so 6 out of 10. Unfuck the World. Now this song is very nice, I enjoy the instrumental work here. The riffage, the bass, the drums, everything has this kind of cool groove. The vocals are nice as well, they aren't great but just good. This song doesn't bring shame to the Rage Against the Machine name, so I give it 9 out of 10. I can say the same thing about Legalize Me, because it's a very funny song to me. I like the melodies here, the vocals are funny as well. I dig this song. I wish more of this record was like this. A little bit of experimentation and fun behind the music. Because if I have to choose one thing, a boring repetitive track that sounds like every other track on the record, and a song that is very clunky and weird, but it has soul behind it, then of course I'm going to choose the second one. And Legalize Me is that clunky song, it's very weird. It's not perfect by any means, I just enjoy the atmosphere and the funniness of it, so 9 out of 10. Speaking of boring repetitive shit, living on the 110 This song shouldn't have been on the record, it's very weak. The vocals are weak, the instruments are weak. This should have been a B-side. I would be ashamed of putting such a weak song on the record, especially when it's the 4th track. Aren't you supposed to put the best songs at the beginning so people won't turn off your CD? But here it's weird, man, it's weird, man. Don't listen to this song, it's a waste of time. 4 out of 10. I can say the same thing about the counter-offensive. It's an intro, it's like 30 seconds long. It's nice, but why? Why is it here? Remove this shit from the album. This is pathetic. Aren't you supposed to showcase the best tracks on the record, especially at the beginning? Why is an intro already here as the 5th song, after that weak bullshit that was living on the 110? This is just an average stuff. Why? Why is it here? 5 out of 10. Hail to the Chief, on the other hand, is a great song. It has those Evil Empire vibes when it comes to the riffs and the groove. I like the vocals, I like the lyrics, everything is great here. Finally, the record is interesting, yet again. 9 out of 10, but it all goes to shit with Take Me Higher. I don't like this song. It has that very Californian vibe, I would say. Very chill and happy. I am not fan of this stuff, but it's not a bad song. It's just my own prejudice towards happy sounding tracks. It's not bad by any means, but to me it's just an average song that I don't want to listen to. So 5 out of 10. Strength in Numbers is the best song on this record by far, by a mile. I wish I could hear this track with Zach on vocals, because the instrumental work is phenomenal. The chicken sounds on the guitar remind me of the song Ball Tongue by the band Korn. It's almost the same. I love it, I love the riffs, I love that the chorus is heavy and not funny, it sounds very serious. This is a straight up banger. More of this stuff. 10 out of 10. Fired a Shot is just a competent rat B-side. It's nothing special or fancy, it's just good. 6 out of 10. Who Owns Who? Now this song is very boring and I don't even remember it by now. I've just finished the album and I already don't know what this song was about or how it sounded. Probably very boring shit that has nothing to offer. So 5 out of 10. Hands Up has some nice riffs here and there, but overall it's very disappointing. Just a decent song, so 6 out of 10. And Smash It. Some people say it's the best song on the record. I don't agree with it. It's boring, repetitive, has no soul. It's a disgrace to the Rage Against the Machine name, to be honest. Remove this song from the album. 5 out of 10. Now let's rate songs from the EP. Prophets of Rage. It sounds like a great opener to the album. I wish it was the beginning of the record instead of Radicalize, because it would fit perfectly and it's a better feeling, like you hear your childhood, because it has that classic Rage Against the Machine vibes and riffs. It's just so weird that it wasn't included on the record. 8 out of 10. The Party's Over. It's a nice song. I don't see anything wrong with it, but it's not good or bad. It's just decent. I wish it was on the record as well instead of living on the 110. 6 out of 10. So right now, as you can see, I could just take those two songs from the EP and just exchange them with remove Living on the 110 and the counter-offensive, and the album already would have been better. I don't know what they were thinking with the tracklist to include such weak songs on the record when you have better songs on the EP. The EP also has more songs, some covers of Rage Against the Machine and No Sleep Till Cleveland, but those are covers, so I am not going to rate them, it's just a waste of time to me. Just listen to the originals. Now, after the record was released, Prophets of Rage recorded 3 new songs, and they were releasing them in 2018, and later they broke up in 2019 when Rage Against the Machine announced their reunion, which is very nice. I hope we are going to hear a new Rage Against the Machine album. It's time, man, it's time. But this news actually made me very sad, because those new 3 songs are really good. Heart of Fire has a small experimental vibe around it. It's very melodic and interesting. The vocals are good, the instrumental work is great. It's a song that I actually enjoy listening to. Wow, 8 out of 10. Pop Goes the Weapon. It's a repetitive rap track, I would say, but Tom Morello is using those cool effects on his guitar. I adore this song. It's almost as good as Strength in Numbers, but it's not actually heavy, it's just sounding very weird. I dig this song, 10 out of 10, and the final track, Made with Hate, is also very good. I enjoyed the melodies here, the riffs, the instrumental, even the vocals. So 8 out of 10. To sum it all up, the consistency is various. Some songs are great, some are weak, others are just average. The flow is disrupted because I don't want to hear some of those songs, like Living on the 110, The Counteroffensive, and I've already heard this album around 30 or 50 times, and I just skip half of the songs right now, because they have nothing to offer. Replayability? Yeah, some. It's an average record. I recommend it to you if you're a big fan of Rage Against the Machine. I expected more. Still, check this shit out. Celebrate the anniversary with me. Listen to Strength in Numbers. I love that chicken guitar sound. Pok, 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 pok. Great stuff. That's all from me. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you in my next review. Bye!